lectures, but I'm going to upload them one by one. No? I'm just going to finish the lecture, and then by Friday, I'm going to give you the rubrics of the final project. Okay? I'd like you to spend next week, no, for developing your project. Am I correct? Next week is the last week of classes? Last week of classes na, di ba? 24 to 31. Okay? Do you follow? So, no? So you have the week to develop your project, no? Okay? Any questions so far? Now, last meeting, we discussed the creation of roles. No, I'm going to repeat the process again because we had certain errors. No, so that we could also record them properly. Natura is here. No, we could also record them properly. So let me open that project. No, and then delete whatever we have created. So yeah, ito yun, no, role test with employees. No, before I delete this, no, I'd like to run this first. No, what to recall what we have created. Okay. Models. Hindi ito yon. No? Sorry, I don't think this is the one. No? I think it's role demo. Okay. This is the project. So let's run this anyway. No? So nandito na nga, no? This were the, no? And then we had a view model called roles view model. We are going to delete this so to start from scratch. Actually, during the listing and the editing, we don't have to create a model first, but anyway, Visual Studio will require us to indicate a model when we create the CRUDs. So wala tayong choice, no? But really have to create a role model, okay? So this is what we have, no? If you log in, okay. Admin yata, no? Okay. If you log in, we can have role management. Okay, so we have these roles. Okay. Let's remove all roles first. No? We can use our Visual Studio SQL Server, no? Management Studio. Okay. So I hope you have started by now, no? Choosing at least your project. We barely have 1 week to develop the project ourselves. Role demo, ito yun, no? Tables, and then .NET roles. I-delete muna natin, no? We run this. Okay. So what happens is, if you run this, no? We don't have the roles anymore. We still have the users. I did not delete the users, no? But we don't have the roles. Okay. So wala na tayong roles, okay? So let me delete them all over again, no? And all the view models, I'm going to delete them. Okay, we'll just delete this. The controller first, then the view models. Okay, and then I'm going to delete all the role, this whole folder. No, we don't need them anymore. Okay, and then in our login partial, we have to remove the this, no, the action. We'll have to remove this first because we don't have we have removed the controller, so there's no way we can run this. But we, of course, we still have the program intact. Okay. We have an error. So we'll have to remove this. Okay, dapat wala ito. Okay, we have removed this also, no? It should not be there in the DB context. So we have to remove this because we have deleted the file. Okay. So we're back to 0. Okay. Manalo is here. So we're practically back to 0. Okay. You follow? So wala na yung if you log in as admin. Yeah. Click natin wala. Nothing because we don't have a controller. Okay. Let's repeat the process. No? First, we are going to create an edit role model. Actually, it's not required to create a view model, but we have to do that because uh, when we create the CRUDs, okay, Visual Studio will require us to name a view model. Do you follow? So right here, we will simplify the process. No? Okay, we add a new class. Okay, just an empty class. No? And then we'll say roles view model. Okay, add it here. So roles view model. So this is the main difference. It's like a model, no? The main difference is this model is not migrated to our database. Okay. Anyway, let's look at our database if we have that. Okay. So wala yung ano, no? Wala yung yeah. Oh, there's no table such as roles view model. Okay. Now the first is now we will copy though, no? We will copy the what is in the roles, no? I-design view natin ito. At least we need one. Okay. We need the ID and the name. Okay? Do you follow? So, hindi na natin this is a max length of 256 and this is a string, no? Or we can just identify them using a strings, no? Anyway, no? Okay. So, the first part, okay? We there's a shortcut, no? Who's in the lobby? Yeah, Bueno and Lloren. Okay? Bueno and Lloren. Okay? Mag-create tayo ng view model, no? This is not a model. This is a view model. So there's a shortcut prop, tab. Okay? We need an ID. This is an int. I don't think we are required anymore to do the key because anyway, this is not a true model. Okay, and then we have the prop again, string. Okay, okay, okay. Anyway, no? So we can have a max length of 256 because this is 256. Okay, and then we bring in the desired ano using by clicking this and then wala. I think we need to use MVC. No? Kopyahin na lang natin. Do we have a model? Wala. So anyway. I think it's capital letters. Ito, no? Capital letters. Oh. It doesn't matter anyway, no? Max length. Kailangan itong data annotations and it's gone, okay? So this is also a string. Do we have a max length here? We don't need anyway to specify. It will adapt. Anyway, we will not compare it with we we are not going to save it in our database. No? We have the view model anyway. Bueno is here. Okay na. So we have this roles view model. We need this because we are going to create a controller and with CRUDs. Okay, which means we have a create, retrieve, edit, search. No, do you follow? So what we'll do is we will create the controller now because we have the view model. We can do that also one by one, but the easy way is to create a controller right away. No, okay. So we need a controller with views using entity framework. Okay. The model we need is uh, roles view model. This one. Okay, and that's correct already. But we make sure we remove it from our DB context. Okay? Kasi dinagdag natin sa DB context, we are going to remove it. Because we are not going to migrate it anyway, no? So that's just basically the need of this, no? For the moment. We will need this later. The roles view model. I'm sorry, mali yung aking nano, no? I haven't renamed the controller. Let me delete this first. Let's do that again. Okay? Nag-create na siya ng views dito. We delete this again. Let's go to our DB context. Dagdag na siya, oh. Just remove this. Okay, so that it's not migrated. I should rename my controller, no? It's a bad habit not to name your controller. Okay? Oh, I didn't rename this. Okay, so this will be roles view model. No? And then the name is roles controller. Roles controller lang, mas maigsi. Okay? They follow? We can just delete anything, no? Right away, as long as you don't need it, as long as you, of course, Matura is here. Yeah, Matura. I-remarks lang muna natin itong role, ano, i-follow. Because we have a roles view model. We have a roles controller. Okay, we follow. We'll just bring in the show using, no? So kulang ito ng using role demo view models. Why is not roles view model? Let's look at the view model. Wala pala yung ating, there is it, roles view model. Okay, let's build this anyway, no? Kasi nag-delete tayo. Okay, so we remove this first, no? I-remarks muna natin itong hindi natin kailangan. For example, we need the index and we need create, but we will do the everything later, no? We just comment this out until the bottom. Okay, so we don't need this anyway in our index. Okay, what do we need in the index? We just need to list down the no. Okay, let me pull up my controller role, no? Here it is, no? So ito babagawin natin ito. This should be a view result, no? What is a view result? From the roles view, no? view result index, and what will we return? We'll return. Okay, we'll have to change this first. Okay, I'll disregard the no, disregard this first. Can we this? Wala pa no, because we have to pull up a new ano. We'll have to pull up a new using here no. We are going to use ASP.NET Core MVC. Dadagdag natin itong tatlo. Let me just add them again right away. Dadagdag ko na lang dyan para mawala yung mga curly braces. Okay, look, nawala na. Okay, do you follow? Ito lang naman talaga kinakailangan niya. And then we need to change the controller, the constructor. No? We need to pass a role manager because this is application DB context when it comes from the DB context. But in fact, we are going to remove this. So we are going to use the identity framework. So which contains the role manager. No, it contains the class role manager. So to be able to do this, no, the roles controller, we are going to use the role manager. Role manager, and this is a dependency injection. I have explained this before. No? What do we mean by dependency injection? Now take note that when you pass parameters, okay, when we pass parameters, we pass actual parameters during runtime, during the code, no? But in this case, in a dependency injection, all functions with dependency injection will have automatic injected parameters during runtime, even without us having to explicitly manipulate the code, no? Explicitly state it in the code. Kahit hindi mo i-state, magkaroon talaga ng RMGR na, no? Okay? RMGR. And then we'll just press control period. Why do we need this, no? Okay. Yan. Okay. Ito. We'll just transfer this. Why do we need this? Because the role manager is actually that class which we will use, no? Tatanggalin na natin itong DB context kasi hindi na natin gagamitin. We are not going to use DB context. Okay, although we have specified it during the creation of the class. We'll call this small letter, no? Manager. So that, no, we can say this that role manager is equal to role manager and manager. Erase na lang natin, no? Do you follow? Okay. And in our, no, we index, no? Okay. We return the role manager. This role manager, no? This that role manager roles. Which means that the roles table will be used in doing the showing the index. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So let's look at our list. In our views, we have an index. This is the one that lists. Instead of using the anyway, the view model is just temporary, no? Okay, so we'll just replace this with this. Ano bang pangalan ng ating ano? Identity role na. Okay, this is the table. Okay. Now we don't have a create, so we remove the ASP action for the moment. And then okay. Wala pa tayong ASP action, no? Okay. When route ID passes a parameter to that ASP action, okay? So we have this already. Okay. So this is the create, which is the index. Now, let us put this in our menu. Okay. And then in our role controller, we'd like that this index be authorized. No? Okay? Authorize siya dapat. So take note, wala na tayong curly braces because we have added this one time. No? Okay. And then we require this authorize, and then we'll go to our login parcel. Okay, and the role management, the ASP action, the ASP controller is the name of the controller. What's the name of the controller? Roles controller. So we'll just say roles. Okay? Ito, roles controller. So we can just say roles. Tatanggalin natin yung word na controller. Okay? I hope na that's correct, no? So, where's that? In our parcel. And we'll specify the action to be indexed. Okay? Can we run this now? I hope there's no error. Andriano, I think I have checked him already. No? Hope there's no error, no? Ayan. Now we have an index, no? Do you follow? So very easy. We already have an index. We can change this. No, we can change the name instead of index. No? Where do we change that? In the index.html ito. Okay. So ito ang index. We'll say list of rows. Okay. Very easy, no? So temporary lang itong itong view model, temporary lang for the moment. Okay. Now we are going to use a create. Ang create, the create will have two implementations, no? We have something for the HTTP GET and another thing for the HTTP POST. Let me clarify this again. When a browser, when the server requires an input from the browser, so we say name, no, like in Google Forms, no, input name, age, address, no. When the server requires that, it sends a GET request to the browser. When the user types in values in the form and clicks the submit button, the browser sends a post request to the server. Do you follow? No? You must memorize that. You must master that. Okay? No, there's no way you can use. Now can we do the details first? Gawin nga natin muna itong details. I don't think we need the details, no? Tanggalin na lang muna natin ang details. Okay? So we'll go to the tanggalin natin itong details kasi edit lang naman ang kailangan natin dito. Okay? We can also remove the delete. Okay? Tanggalin muna natin ang delete. Okay? And then we'll do a create. Okay. Now, there's already a create HTML. Ito. Do you follow? Like the index HTML, we will change its model. No? Temporary lang kasi yung we don't need this in but we will need that, no? Surely we will need that later. Okay? In the edit part, no? They follow? Okay? Now, we will go back. Shall we go back to index? No, we should go back to list. Yes, okay lang kung index pabalik, no? Okay? Do you follow? No? Okay? So now, we have the function, we now have the create. So we will go to our roles controller and then we will edit the create. So yeah. Tanggalin muna natin yung and then we will uncomment the two creates. Okay? We will uncomment it. Now, we will have to remove this code because this code is not built for a role view model, no? This built for a plain model. Okay? So we'll have to recreate to change this, no? So in the get, okay? Ito yung get. If there's no get, it's assumed to be a get. You follow? No? So we'll transform this into an async. Why is that? Because this is what is required by the identity role. Okay? What's going to be, take note, we have a validate anti-forgery token. This is a security feature that we need to, ano, and then for the action result, we will need this, no, and we will pass the role. Okay, sorry, edit and, tama na to, no? But what we are going to pass is identity role. Ito, hindi siya view model. Okay? The identity role, which is part of the identity framework, the identity role class, which we have injected, remember, no? It's going to be passed again to us, no? Okay? And then we'll just say, siya na mag-create nito. Create, there's a create, ano, command. You may ask, how is this created? How is the role created? We have a create, no, in role manager, and we will redirect to action index. Okay? We don't have an error. Fortunately, we don't have an error. And now in our index HTML, we can activate this ASP action. The ASP action is create. That's the name of the function in our controller. Okay? Let's try to build this. Check if you have a function. Are you following? Okay. May error tayo. So ito, okay. Bakit hindi niya makuha? Identity role does not have a definition for name. Or maybe it's role name. Let me check. Tingnan natin sa index. May name mo. Okay. Let me look for it in the, if we can't use this, no, what we'll do is we will use the role view model. Okay. What we'll do is we'll use the role view model. Kung ayaw niya dito sa create, yung ayaw niya dito. But in the index, look at that. In the index, we are using this, no, identity role. Model that name. Baka mali yung kanyang ano. Okay? Create model that name. So, yeah. In index, it's called model that name. Okay? So, identity role should have a name. Okay? Let me pull up one of my codes. I'm sorry. There's always an error. You have to expect this because we are doing things on the fly. Di pwedeng walang error. Okay. Ito siguro ang yata eh. And then we'll have our views role. And then let's look at the create role. Okay. Let's set this back to ano na lang. Set this back to our view model. So this time we are using the view model. Okay. And then what will happen to our controller class? Do we have the same controller class? Ito, i-run down natin. The problem is magka-error talaga tayo dito. Kay in our create, we are not using the view model. Oh. This is not role test. Anyway, no. It's a role test, but what's the name of our role demo? View models. And the name is what? Roles. Yeah, it's there. View models. So we'll have to change our create. No? Let me pull up my code. Kasi ang ginamit natin dito, hindi na, you're not using the, okay, you're not using there's so many codes, the create anymore, no? So ito na, babaguhin natin yung create. The problem with our create is, hindi niya, it cannot get the identity role. So we'll have to use this model, itong roles model, view model. Itong i-create natin na roles view model. Ito, okay? So in our create, we are going to use the roles view model to submit the name, no? To input the name of the, so we'll have this as the edit role, create roles. Okay. And then what will we do? In our roles controller, there's the roles controller here. We'll change our create, or yes, this part, no? So yung ating create ngayon will be async task, ganun pa rin, no? But we'll have to use the traditional, no? The traditional model, gumagamit tayo ng model, no? Kasi ayaw niyang tanggapin yung identity, na yun, no? Hindi niya matatanggap. Okay? We will redirect action to index and roles controller. Okay? Okay. Show potential fixes. Iba na tong kanyang model na. Dapat model na. Role view model. What's the name of our model? Roles view model. Okay? This will now be, kasi hindi na natin gamitin yung identity. Roles view model. Okay? Ito, this is model dot name. Okay? Model dot name because that's how we named it there. So what it's going to do is yung roles view model which is used in the create. Kasi roles view model ang ginamit niya dito, no? We don't have kasi, no, hindi natin ma-specify dito sa ating create. Maybe there's a different create for this. Let me take the other create. Controllers. Or maybe no. Kailangan natin dito is role test. Controllers. Then let me edit this. Okay. I have so many codes already. Sorry for that. I want to create something simpler. Let me look at my baka kasi pwedeng gagamit. What I'm trying to avoid is to use the role view model. Edit this. Kasi ito yung gumagamit ng identity core. This is the code. I'm wondering why it's able to go back. Wala namang pagkakaiba yung code. Okay? Wala namang pagkakaiba yung code. Okay? We have it here. Yeah, walang pagkakaiba. Galay na natin to. Okay? So we just have to use this, no? In our roles controller. We just have to use this. Now we have, what are we trying to do? We pass the roles view model, which is in here, no? Ito yung model niya, roles view model. Okay? And then we pass that here in the create method sa HTTP post. Now, we are going to declare a new identity role, and then we are going to assign it with a name. And then we add a role, no, to the role manager using this create async. Okay, if it succeeds, we go back to index of roles. Otherwise, we just print the errors. Okay, tingnan natin kung magka-error pa. Okay, there's a warning, but there's no error. Okay, so I think we're okay now. Okay, role manager. Okay, so wala no. Let's create new. So create new role. Say administrator. Tinanggal natin, di ba? We just say create. So we go back and now we have this. We have removed the delete. Okay. Okay, we have create another role. So we say user. Okay, create. So we now have user. Okay, we can create another role. So we say secretary. Okay, then create. So we have removed the delete kasi ayaw natin yung delete, di ba? So anyway, we now have a list of roles. Wala tayong edit. Okay? Do you follow? Wala tayong edit. Can we do the edit now? Anyway, we still have time. Let's look at the recording. Okay. 40 minutes. We have 3 minutes. Let's do the edit. Anyway, it's just like the create. Okay. So, let me go to my index and then yung edit natin kasi merong ganito. Tanggalin natin ito. Okay. Merong linya. And then we can have a class btn class btn primary. Do you follow? Hindi siya nag-warning. Okay, anyway, can we just take a break and then be right back, no? Because I'm going to create the edit, the edit portion of the role. Okay? Do you follow? Any questions so far? Okay? Okay. So see you shortly, no? I'm just going to end this.